I remember watching Nathan's face during their wedding photos. It was one of those fake smile moments, his shoulders stiff in that gray suit Lauren insisted on. And I remember thinking, he looks like someone else's kid. Not because of how he looked, but because of how lost he seemed standing among people who barely knew him. That first year after the divorce, he spent half his time with me and half at Lauren's new place, which got even more crowded after she had 2 more kids with Eric. Suddenly, Nathan was the oldest of 4 and the only one who didn't quite belong. He never said it out loud, but I could see it in how he clung to me when I picked him up, like he was trying to make sure someone still saw him. That's when I made a quiet promise to myself. I would never miss a moment. I went to every school play, every basketball game. I signed up for field trips, did pickup and drop-off, even volunteered at that god-awful science camp. If he needed someone in his corner, I would be there. And for a while, I thought it helped. He talked to me about his teachers, his friends. He'd help me cook dinner, play music in the car, laugh at stupid jokes we'd come up with. But somewhere along the way, I started to worry I'd overdone it. Like, I had tried so hard to be present that I hadn't noticed I was holding too tight. By the time he was in high school, Nathan wasn't quite sure what he wanted out of anything. He drifted between interests, tried band, tried soccer, quit that, too. And when college came around, he enrolled at IOU, only to call me one afternoon and say he was taking a break to figure himself out. I asked what that meant, and he just shrugged and said, "I don't know. Everyone's in such a rush to be someone. I just want to breathe for a bit." Except breathing turned into hanging out with guys who slept till noon and argued about things they didn't really care about. They called it soul-searching, but to me, it looked a lot like drifting. And I couldn't help but wonder, had I done this? Had I tried so hard to keep him safe that I forgot to help him stand? I still saw flashes of the kid I raised, thoughtful, kind, loyal. But more and more, I also saw a young man floating without direction. And as much as I hated the idea, I had to admit to myself, maybe love, even the right kind, can still have the wrong effect. Nathan called me one Sunday morning out of the blue. It was early, not quite 8 a.m., which made me think something was wrong. But when I answered, he was oddly upbeat. "Dad, I met someone." I sat up in bed, rubbing my eyes. Yeah, he said, already laughing a little. "She's amazing. You'll love her." That was the first time I heard Tanya's name. From what Nathan told me, she worked at a boutique downtown and was super smart and totally misunderstood. Her words, not his. She was 27, 4 years older than him, and had already been married once. But according to Nathan, that was a mistake on both their parts. I didn't say anything then. I just let him talk. And boy did he talk. Said they met at a bookstore, bonded over a poetry collection, and had spent every day together since. Over the next few weeks, Tanya's name came up constantly. Tanya says I need to eat more protein. Tanya thinks I should start journaling. Tanya doesn't believe in traditional career paths. Every time we talked, it was like Nathan was borrowing her voice. I started digging, not to control him, but to protect him. I searched online and found an old wedding registry. The date was less than 2 years ago. Then a string of posts about some art gallery job, followed by a retail gig, and finally nothing. She bounced around from place to place, always starting fresh, never staying long. There were photos, too, granny ones from Facebook and tagged images that showed a lot of partying and a rotating door of best friends. She had this way of talking online like she was always the victim of something bigger. Jobs didn't understand her. Exes had wronged her. The world just didn't get her. I tried bringing it up gently. We were sitting in a cafe and I said, "Hey, I know you're into Tanya, but maybe slow down a bit. Just make sure you're seeing things clearly." Nathan's eyes narrowed. "Why would you even say that?" I looked her up. I admitted, just trying to understand who she is. You Googled her. He snapped. That's insane, Dad. That's controlling. No, I paused. It's concern. That's all. You're my son. He pushed back his chair. You never trust me to make my own decisions ever. That's not true. It is. His voice cracked a little. You don't see it, but you've been doing this my whole life. Watching, hovering, doubting. I wanted to argue, but I didn't, because deep down maybe he had a point. Still, something about Tanya didn't sit right with me. And no matter how much Nathan defended her, how he'd never felt this way before, or how she actually listens to him, I couldn't shake the feeling that he was falling into something he didn't understand. It's a helpless thing. Watching your kid walk into what looks like a storm, only to have him tell you it's sunshine. I knew if I pushed too hard, I'd drive him away. But staying quiet felt like betrayal, too. Like I was just waiting for the fallout instead of trying to prevent it. That night, I sat on my porch with a cold beer, staring out at the yard, wondering how the hell you tell your child that love isn't always enough. Especially when he's too deep in it to see the cracks forming. I was standing in line at the grocery store when Nathan called. He didn't bother with a hello, just blurted it out like he couldn't hold it in any longer. We're getting married, he said. In 6 weeks. I stepped out of line, heart pounding. Wait, what? We set the date yesterday, he said. We already booked the venue. Found an efficient. Tanya wants to keep it small but meaningful. You know, intimate. You just met her. I said, too stunned to hide it. You've been together what, 3 months? 4? He corrected like that changed everything. And it's real, Dad. I've never been more sure of anything. I leaned against a display of canned soup and tried to keep my voice steady. Why the rush? It's not a rush, he said quickly. It's timing. It just feels right. Have you thought about where you'll live or how you'll pay?